I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, October the 14th, brought to you in part by Norbrook. Norbrook strives to provide greater value in generic products it provides for veterinarians and producers, including making enhancements in formulation, packaging, and economical cost over Pioneer products. For more information, go to norbrook.com. Fed cattle prices are slowly rising. I mean, it's like steady to firm in the last several weeks here, and you can't even pick up a dollar anywhere, but it's pretty much more just higher trade within the price range that we've already established, and we've seen that again this week already as we've seen the bulk of the negotiated trade, albeit at a small a bit of what sells each week, but we've seen that this week already on Wednesday. These packers are needing cattle. They don't have a whole lot of cattle compared to normal set up for the next several weeks as we go forward here. Of course, they always have their sweetheart deals and they've got cattle already committed to them, but in the whole scheme of things, it's not as high a percentage as what it normally is because they haven't been buying as many cattle for the 2 to 4 week delivery here over the last several weeks. So they're needing some cattle. I mean, it's prime for us to make a little bit of ground on this this fat cattle market, get some market position going. But we've got tighter supplies going in here through the fourth quarter. We've been knowing that for the last several months, and we've been expecting that and waiting for it. And the time is right to make a little ground, but we can't make much ground. We can't gain bucks. We can't gain dollars and dollars each week. We just trade higher within the range, and you know, once in a while we get maybe a buck on the top side of the range, but we're making a little bit of ground as we go forward, and we just got to keep trying to strive for more. Let's look at the board for Wednesday, October live cattle futures, and they just couldn't hold anymore. I mean, we've been going up here for a week and a half, pretty strong, and they just couldn't hold any more of that, and they were down on Wednesday. October live cattle futures down a quarter at 124.77. December also down a quarter at 129 even. And you go on your back months of live cattle down 42 to down $1.15. October feeder cattle down 92 cents at 157.65, even though December spot corn was down 10 and a quarter at 512 and a half. But we just can't handle you know, the higher prices that we've gained over the last week and a half, and it's got to back off a little bit. November feeder cattle down 82 cents at 160.97. Your back months, your feeder cattle down 22 to down $1.32. Your open interest is nothing. It has made new lows on Tuesday for the year, and so we just don't have a lot of outside play in it. We don't have a lot of our managed money in there, and we would really like to show them that that there's confidence in the market to go up so that they will jump on the long side. We would love to see that, but you know, over the performance of the last actually a couple of years, we just can't convince managed money that we have the ability to gain ground in your cattle market. Look at your fat trade on Wednesday, and that was the most significant trading day that we'll see, and Wednesday's been the big day for the last several weeks, but and we say significant trade, it's still minuscule in the whole scheme of things, but it's the biggest negotiated trade that we'll see this week. Iowa had confirmed sales of 8,600 head, 122 to 124, and you're thinking, ho-hum, that's the same that we've seen every week, but there's more of it on the 124 in the northern plains, where the southern plains been trading at a premium at 124 and the northern plains at 122, but there's more at 124, so we're gaining a little ground within the range. Dress sales 193 to 196. Nebraska 15,700 head confirmed on Wednesday, 122 to 125. So that's kind of a victory, and there may not have been many at 125, but significant trade at 124. Dress sales at 195 to 196. Kansas had 9,500 head of confirmed sales on Wednesday, 123 to mostly all 124, and a little bit of negotiated trade at 196. Texas 2,900 head, 123 to 124 and a half, but mostly 124. We actually saw Colorado print for the first time in a long time because there's just not enough play over in Colorado. Just one packer playing for the most part. But we did see some trade print on your mandatory price reporting market report with confirmed sales of 500 head in Colorado, all at 124. Box beef cutout values lower again, and we thought that they would kind of shore up by now, but they continue to sink as your packers are having to back up the price levels that they're asking for these cutouts to move product. But choice cuts 280.02 down $1.05 on Wednesday afternoon, and select trade at 258.70 down 265. But they're picking up a little bit of extra on your drop value. Basically, you're hiding guts. But your drop value posted on Wednesday at 15.75. That's the highest price it's been in 7 years, guys. Your drop value is normally running in the $7 range, and it's at 15.75. Of course, there's a lot of products that they get out of that drop value there, and it's just sneaking up. A lot of people don't pay attention to it, but that's money in the packer's pocket. But you look at your slaughter, and it's been running at a decent pace here, about like last week. 361,000 through Wednesday. That's just 2,000 less than last week, and exactly the same as the same week a year ago. What else is going on? Let's talk about your big Beefmaster Performance Group sale that's coming up. It's your 4th annual Red River Bull Sale in Paris, Texas, at Paris Livestock Auction, just east of Paris, Texas, there on October the 23rd. Tell you what, good group of people there, and they've got some of the best Beefmaster genetics that you can get, and they'll be there on October the 23rd on dvauction.com. You can view and bid right there at Paris Livestock Auction, just east of Paris, Texas. And if you spend over $10,000, you get 5% off. So if you need to buy several bulls, get in there, bid on those bulls, and get a little discount there. But let's talk about your feeder cattle market for Wednesday. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Wednesday at 154.51, up another 21 cents with some high volume sales on Wednesday, and so we're gaining just a little bit of ground on your feeder cattle market. Of course, it's based on an 800-pound steer, where we're selling mostly calves right now. But we're gaining a little bit of ground, just like we gained a little bit of ground on your fat cattle market. But look at your high volume sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 5,500 head for the 2-day sale there, with calves on Tuesday and yearlings and feeders on Wednesday. But 5,500 head there. Feeder steers were steady to $3 higher. Feeder heifers $1 to $4 higher. Calves were kind of steady in a light test. Not a lot of calves coming into a high volume sale like that, which normally brings in your bigger backgrounded yearling type cattle and not a lot of calves. Winter livestock, Dodge City, Kansas, 3,400 head there. Feeders were unevenly steady to $2 higher. Calves $2 to $5 higher, and there's more demand for those calves. We've got a little bit of moisture on this wheat in the southern plains, and there could be some early grazing. Of course, most of your rented wheat won't let you turn out till November the 15th, but it gives you enough time to get those calves in some type of a backgrounding lot and get them straightened up, get the ball out of them, and get them all their shots and ready to go when they turn them out on wheat. Let's talk about some of your quotes all around the circuit. How about Sterling Livestock Commission in Sterling, Colorado? Big time quote on some big yearling steers. 74 head, 954 pounds at 155.75. Talk about a friend of mine that's got a sale going at Texhoma, Oklahoma. Texhoma Livestock Exchange there. I tell you what, The Oklahoma Panhandle is getting to be a place where you need to market your cattle. You got Texhoma Livestock Exchange on the west side, you got Beaver, Oklahoma on the east side, and even though it's a narrow strip right through there, there's a lot of cattle coming into market in that area. Cattle coming from Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico into the western side, and we got Kansas and the meat of Oklahoma, and coming up from Texas into the eastern side into Beaver, Oklahoma. But really good quotes at both those sales. But on Wednesday, Texhoma Livestock Exchange sold 129 head of grass steers, weighed 957 at 150.75. You won't see a quote that big in the Southern Plains anywhere else. How about some other quotes all around the circuit? Torrington Livestock Markets in Torrington, Wyoming, 94 head of 666 pound steer calves bring $174. Bassett Livestock Auction had a sale on Wednesday, had 4,300 head. Anytime Bassett has a sale, you know you're going to have some big time quotes. Look at this automated market report from Cattle Market Central through DV Auction. You can see your best tested weights there. They're all impressive, but look at your best tested weights, and they're not so much on calves. They haven't really started selling the glut of the calves in the Sandhills of Nebraska yet. Still got some grass yearling steers to sell there, and look at what they're bringing. How about 606 head of 8-weight feeder steers in Bassett, Nebraska that averaged 847 with a weighted average price of 164.66. 1,050 head of 9-weight yearling feeder steers, mostly all off grass around Bassett there. They averaged 944 at 158.68. How about a big heifer test? 415 head of 9-weight yearling heifers in Bassett, Nebraska, averaged 942 with a weighted average price of 152.23. The stickout deal in Bassett was 3 loads of big 9-weight steers, averaged 920 pounds at 162.25. But the best quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday for where they're at and what they got was Equity Cooperative in Waukon, Iowa there. I tell you what, not a big time sale. We don't talk about them very often, but when they get the goods in there, they can sell them. It's your Zach Tran top quote for the day out of Waukon, Iowa. 65 head, 870 pound steers, bring 166.50. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.